Partners in Ministry, a presentation of Josiah White's Quakerdale Foundation, dedicated to growing ministry support networks, introducing people to a cause that connects with their heart, bringing hope and encouragement to our communities as we seek together to serve as Christ served.
Welcome to Partners in Ministry. I'm your host, Dan Smith, and today I'll be talking with Arlen Daleske. Arlen is the founder of Providential Homes. Today, we're going to discuss the Apostle James' command to care for orphans and widows and how Providential Homes is working to fulfill that mandate. Welcome, Arlen. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Dan.
In the New International Version of the Bible, James makes this statement: "Religion that God our Father accepts as pure and faultless is this, to look after orphans and widows in their distress." So in James's day, who were the orphans and widows? What would have brought them into that situation?
Widows were designated as such because of the death of their husband. Orphans were children that had lost both parents. So that was perhaps a distinction that we can look at later with present day.
Okay. All right. So life would be going along, and for some reason, the husband or the dad would pass away, and or the mom, or the husband passes away, and now so the woman's left to try to fend on her own. How likely was that to be a possibility for a woman to earn her own money in James's day?
Well, if you look at the mortality rate, of course, the lifestyle of the time, people weren't living as long, and it would be very probable for a woman. And yet we need to bear in mind, looking this up just the other day, that women did account for a third of the property ownership in that area at that time, but they had to come by it in a unique fashion, and they could carry that on. But when they were without, if they were married into a situation and the husband died, they would go into that father's house next to be taken care of. So it was, again, a part of the community to take care of the widows. And then when the orphans took place, when both parents died by illness, tragedy, then the family again needed to pick up the pieces and make it happen.
Sure. So as we look at society today, is there been any kind of a shift in terms of either expanding or shrinking the category of orphans and widows in our day?
Well, I think so. And some of that is due to the fact that communities, in particular, churches, looking at them very particularly, have not picked up the pieces for widows and orphans. And so we've kind of passed that off onto government and said, hey, you take care of it. But again, the Bible tells us, it mandates us to take care of the widows and orphans. So we need to step up and help wives that are perhaps out of a relationship due to abuse or some other tragic means of the marital status. Or it could be because, again, the husband died, but the widows are women that are alone. And because of the way society is working too, family's not picking up the pieces, and unfortunately the church isn't picking up the pieces the way it should. So we are obligated, again, mandated, to help the widows that are alone. And the orphans, they are children that do not have a father, or do not have a mother, or do not have both. And again, we've expected society to pick up the pieces of these kids and put them together and try to find a place for them. But our churches need to take a more active role in stepping in, supporting the parent, whether that's man or woman, that is a single parent, and find ways to help out so the kids are supported, sheltered, fed, and nurtured.
So is this primarily an economical situation, or does it relate to other parts of life in terms of the need that orphans and widows would be experiencing?
Well, I think it just kind of hits the full spectrum here because, yeah, it's financial. That's what we see the most of when kids don't have enough food or clothing or shelter. But the emotional support is very important as well. That's one thing Providential Homes needs more mentors for. Stepping up to the plate, helping the kids, being a big brother, a big sister, helping the mom or the dad, but in most of our cases, it's the mom, feel supported emotionally. And there's a lot that's on the plate there for a single parent. And so if we can come alongside and give them some good support, might help the mental stress, the emotional stress. And like we say, the financial stress, yeah, you can throw dollars at a lot of things, but can you come alongside and help that person in their need?
Yeah. So as I begin to grow my understanding of Providential Homes, it's not just about um, giving them a place to live necessarily. That's definitely one big piece in it. But you're also looking at the whole well-being of the family unit, whether it's a mom and her kids or a dad and her kids, or and trying to meet everything that they're going through. So obviously, you can't do that yourself. So are you strategically partnering with anybody to help cover some of the non-building the house needs that are there?
Strategically is an interesting word that we're just relying on folks to feel led to come alongside. Of course, there are individuals that we know perhaps can mentor in a good fashion, but we don't have a strong network to come alongside and do those type of things that we can do. Physically, we're pretty good coming in, refurbishing, remodeling a dwelling, making things good. But we all need to do a better job of trying to support and be there for them emotionally, spiritually.
Sure, sure. Well, Arlen, this is some great information. If as you listen to our interview out there, if you're interested in learning how you can either volunteer to help come alongside some folks that might be in this situation, or if you're the leader in a church and you say, "Boy, you know what? This really sounds like something maybe our church ought to think about getting involved with from an organizational standpoint." Or maybe you're out there, you're a contractor, electrician, construction guy, roofing guy, plumbing person. There's always a need for help, not only providing for a home, but also just providing some emotional well-being as well. Providential Homes may be exactly what you're looking for. So Arlen, just thank you for meeting with me today. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're more than welcome.
If you got any questions, or if you'd like to learn more about Providential Homes, you can see their contact information here on the screen, or you can find it in the show notes of this episode or in the description of this YouTube video. On behalf of Arlen Daleske, Providential Homes, and Partners in Ministry, I want to thank you for joining me today. And until next time, let's get out there and serve as Christ serves.
This has been a presentation of Partners in Ministry, a podcast of Josiah White's Quakerdale Foundation. To learn more and see the show notes for this and other episodes, visit our website. To stay informed of up and coming broadcasts, subscribe to our e-newsletter. To invest in our mission, donate today.